camped right there last night. Got here after 10. This is my morning reward. Hello. Let's see. I need to wipe this. Sometimes it's hard to tell if it's just like the lighting or if I'm a little smudged. It's the morning, day 3:31. Ridiculous, incredible morning. I was a little tired this morning. I didn't get to camp until like 10. So what happened last night, nothing really. Wasn't that big of a deal, but I got water and then I was gonna go 38 miles into the day would have been like a tent site, but I kind of wanted to go further. And then I got there and it was dark and there was someone else set up there. And then the next spot there was someone set up. There was plenty of room, but I wasn't desperate enough yet to go right next to someone. I love getting in later and just camping alone. I don't want to be feeling bad about making noise. And like last night I was up super late, not crazy. And I honestly didn't even feel bad about it because every time I'm in town, I'm up late doing stuff on my phone and whatever. Like I knew I was still going to get quality rest. But so there was a comment on Far Out that was like, oh, there's a tent site, mile marker like 2506 or something. And they had like 0.6, like they, it was all written out. Started getting up to the top of this climb, looked at my phone, I was 0.2 past the tent site. But last night it was so foggy, I couldn't really see anything to the side of me, anything up too high, and like only could see, right in front of me. So you're looking around and like the trail looks like this. So like you almost can't tell if the hill next to you like caps off or if it flattens out and turns into a camp spot. So I backtracked like 0.1 or 0.2 looking around, didn't see anything. I looked at the map, next like marked site was like almost 2 miles away. It was late. I was like, whatever, I'm just gonna keep going. What choice do I have? Luckily, got up to like the real top. I mean, my map said I was at the top. Clearly, it didn't really know. So when I did get up to the top, there was like a really nice tent spot. I mean, really only room for one. You could have fit two, maybe, but luckily no one was there. There was a little bit of wind protection. It was just like misty, like my tent was soaking wet this morning. But I was really comfortable. It was great. So I did like 40 miles yesterday. It was like 39.8 or something. 9,500 feet of gain. Been a minute, dude. I love that. I was just thinking about that yesterday, that it's been a while since I've probably hit over 10K like a handful of times this year. And that, I mean, if I hit, that would be the first time I did it on the PCT, I'm pretty sure. It's a little harder to do that on this trail. But, okay, I'm rambling. Early morning update. But yeah, that was good. So, I mean, I made it further than I had hoped. So, in pretend land, I could do like 36 miles today, 37. And then tomorrow would be like a 30. So I'd have to look at the terrain. I only really remember the last like 10 or so miles into the trailhead area for Stehekin, but I guess I would say there's not a 0% chance of getting the 3:15 bus, but it's much more likely that I'm probably going to get the 6:15 bus, which is fine. It would just be really nice to be able to go to the bakery like before going into town, especially if I'm gonna have to camp in town anyway. Oh, look at that. And then take the bus back the next morning. But dang, we're getting down to the wire on this one, dude. I mean, I have to hike today and tomorrow, and I'll be in Stehekin. And then I leave Stehekin, and I'm only 80 miles from the border. So 2 full days, and then I'll tag the border in the morning. And then I'll hike probably the greater majority of the way back to Hart's Pass. So it really just depend on time and how I feel. But yeah, and then the following day get picked up by Randy and driven to freaking Glacier, dude. I'm excited. I'm nervous. It's been really cold here the last couple days for August. Like I'm wearing my gloves this morning. My hand's pretty cold and it's just making me think about what's coming for me. I definitely should have had my warmer layers sent to Montana as well, probably, and my sleeping bag liner, but we'll see what I'll do. These rivers are so milky with like sediment, glacier, something or other. Broken, but it still works. Whee! Thank the Lord. I'm gonna be getting my feet wet for sure, probably very soon. It's a big drop. Last time I was here, I was like down over there. The trail goes through those trees, you just can't see it. And I could see a bear like right here, but you couldn't tell which way the trail went. And then I scared the bear and the bear ran up. And I remember like continuing along the trail and seeing that the trail went like into this more wooded section and then the bear had gone here. And I remember it freaking me out. But the funny thing is now, if that happened, I'd be hoping to see the bear. Out of control today. Been eating so many berries. I mean, it's all berries on both sides. They look so good. I've probably had like 2 fistfuls at least today. Bro, he's so close. He doesn't even care. Is this marmot about to attack me? Dude, I could reach out and touch him. I don't think this is normal to be, come back, to be so close. Just about at the top. I was gonna stop and sit for a second, but every time I go by a person, if I'm like contemplating stopping to sit, I make myself keep going because I don't like passing people a bunch of times. So I don't want to pass them and then sit and then have to pass them again. So it always motivates me to go another mile or 2. So I'm far enough ahead that they'll never catch me. Now I'm at the top. But to credit the guy, if I hadn't ran into him, I would have stopped to take a break there. And then I probably wouldn't stop to take one right here, which is a way better spot on this rock. Woo. The marmots out here, dude, I think people are fondling them. I don't know. They're oddly friendly. Like the other one, I could have touched it, but that would have really scared me and obviously is not good for the animal. But like, yeah, even that one, it sees me, it hears me, but it's not like, I mean, obviously it just ran off, but dude, that, I mean, the video you saw before, that I could have touched that other marmot. That was the closest I've come to really any wildlife that I can think of. Every now and then a pika will do that and just get like super close. But I mean, normally it's just like they're so cute. I like never try to get closer to them. I just, watch them for as long as I can. Wow, that looks really green down there. This is great, dude. I don't know why. Like when I'm here, I have very vivid memories of being here and I remember breaks and like, I mean, some of the blowdowns. And of course, yeah, I got no videos of blowdowns today, even though it went by probably 60 plus and forded like 3 rivers. You'd never know though. You'd never know. So maybe no one will believe it, except this place is like infamous, like the Milk Creek area. It looked almost identical in 2022. So, I mean, it just seems like they're not really having anyone come in and take blowdowns out. I've seen some cuts for sure. None of them look recent. But yeah, I mean, probably over many, many years, they come in and do something. Because some were easier to get around than I remembered, but I remember enough to know that it's not over. So I'll get some nice videos. I think the coolest ones are where I'm headed. I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, once I get back down into like tree line, I start going around huge like old growth blowdowns. So we're talking trees where the trunks are literally, no exaggeration, like 5 to 7 feet wide. Just massive, incredible trees. And some of them are, you know, laying sideways right across the trail. So if it's still how I remember it, that'll be cool. Slow me down a little. I mean, between the blowdowns, the river crossings, and then there have just been a lot of sections where the trail is narrow or like sloped on the side, and there's like lots of overgrowth of either pine trees or other brush. And then that kind of like pushes you to the side, so I have to slow down because slipping like off the side is definitely possible. Never in my life had a gel until just now. I feel like that's kind of hard to fathom just with how much time I've spent on trail. But I always see them and they just, I don't know, the flavors and stuff, it's never really appealed to me a whole lot. And I mean, I have to try these other ones to see how, I don't know, they compare in like consistency and texture. But this one, caramel macchiato, yeah, I really liked that. I could eat that again. That was very easy to put down. So I think that's like the whole appeal of them. But sometimes I struggle, so that's kind of nice. And there's a little bit of caffeine, 40 milligrams. I feel like that's not even a cup of coffee, so just enough to feel it, but not so much that like I could probably have a few of these and it wouldn't really be anything too crazy. I don't do much caffeine. I never really thought about it until like, I mean, every now and then I think about it when people ask me, but it came up recently and I don't know. Most days, there's no like crash, probably because I don't really drink. I have like one coffee packet in the morning. It's not a ton of caffeine, and then, I mean, hot chocolate. So it's just, yeah, I tend not to notice it when I'm not on trail. I don't drink coffee unless it's like a yummy sweet treat. Ridiculous. So bright blue. That's the trail. All right, y'all. Haven't been showing you the horrors. This is a pretty typical one, actually. Not too bad. But yeah, I'm on the trail. I have to climb over this, on those rocks, and in between there. All right, y'all. Just for you. This is why I'm never filming. It's just not super easy. Ow. Woo! All right, y'all, that's the trail. I just had to climb right in that crevice. And I mean, like, choose me down. This one section was just like completely rerouted. Oh, cool, we get more. I mean, they're not all hard to get around by any means. There's just gonna be some that require climbing up and over or like really far around because they cover the whole trail. Let's see. More. Give the people what they want. Show them the horrors. No, it's really not that bad at all. But this one I'm gonna just climb, put my foot up there and go over. Right on the trail. Been going up for a freaking while. It's actually pretty steep, but it feels good. What a day. Been climbing for a really long time, but it's felt really good. It felt good yesterday too. This is such a perfect way to end the trail, honestly. Like, get a little challenge with Washington that'll make Glacier and everything like that just feel like, I don't know, just another day. I mean, Glacier's no harder than Washington. And then little by little, it's just gonna get easier and easier. I really can't think of any sections on the CDT red line besides Glacier and like going through the San Juans that are, well, Idaho. Idaho is super hard in my opinion. But I mean, I remember doing like marathon days and it was like 5,000 to 7,000 feet of gain, which isn't actually that terrible, but I can't do Idaho this time. So it's not gonna be anything much crazier than what I've done before. It's a big blowdown. I had to climb all the way up and over it. I just passed the campsite that I stayed at previously, and I definitely remember that this was the area with the most blowdowns. Though, like, once you get on regular trail, when there's like space on the sides and it's not a huge slope, it's not as bad to go around blowdowns because you can step off the trail. It's hard when the trail is this like narrow ridge and there's really no place to go. This is what I mean by the giant blowdowns. Like, that's huge. That's like 6 feet off the ground. I just had to get up on top of this so I can I mean, it's short on this side, but it's on the slope. I should have filmed when I was like way over there, but I just had to take my pack off for that one. It was either like a really sketchy slanted down, or I just took my pack off, and with a pack off, I can climb over really tall, kind of odd stuff, because you kind of just need one quick, fast motion to get up and over something. But when you're wearing a pack, just sorry, this is steeper than it looks. When you're wearing a pack, like, your center of gravity is just not it. See, okay, yeah, I could have actually just gone down that like super steep thing because it switches back, but hopefully this is like less crazy. I mean, it looks insane. Wild. Well, yeah, and actually this is cool because I'll get a view of where I would have come from, somewhere up there. Oh yeah, like a steep thing there. Yeah, sometimes I'm not really in the mood to do this super crazy steep thing, honestly. Wow, just love that. Okay, later in the day updates, like 33 miles in. The blowdowns have been, not amazing, but honestly, I prefer these big giant blowdowns to like the smaller blowdowns on the sloped trail and like the river crossings and stuff earlier. I feel like this has been a good trade-off. And I didn't even remember it being as easy as it was. Like, you just need to climb up and over a couple things, and it's not that bad at all. Especially, these have been here for years. It's definitely the exact same blowdowns that were here, I would say, in 2022. It's So they have been trafficked. And then was just like clicking because I just went by a junction. I don't always really click on the random icons and read comments or anything unless I'm searching for something like camping or something, but I just clicked one and it said trails real tidy for the next 6 miles. Like, heck yeah. I'm actually only going 6 more miles. So that's pretty sweet. It's gonna be 39-mile day. I don't see any comments about camping past there unless I go like another 2 miles, I want to say, which like is also not that bad. But my thought is I get to camp maybe just before dark, which would actually be really nice. So it'll be slightly earlier. And I think I might treat this like Goat Rocks day and start walking tomorrow like 4 a.m. just because if I could get the 3:15 bus into Sahican, I could buy, I'm hiccuping, I could buy tons of stuff at the bakery, take the bus into town, grab the last few things that I need for like resupply. And mind you, I only need 3 days of food in total, and I'll probably have at least half a day of food when I get into town. I think there's a good chance I'll have 2 dinners. Yeah, 2 dinners. So yeah, like I don't need a ton of stuff. Honestly, I might just go absolutely crazy at the bakery because nothing matters anymore. But it would be super cool to get the last bus out tomorrow. I don't need to charge. I don't need anything. Like, I'll have to see because, okay, so if I was getting the bus, it's 3:15 and 6:15. So I can't remember if they take people to the trailhead like both ways or if it's just one way. So I would be curious, what time is the last bus from town to the trailhead? Because if it's like 7 or something, like if the 6:15 bus comes and goes back, that would be more than enough time for me to do everything I need. I think even if it was like a 5:30 or a 5:45, it could maybe work. Yeah, I just want to use Wi-Fi ideally for 10 minutes or something, buy the few things I need and get the bus out. If I could do that, it doesn't even matter if I hike more miles tomorrow. Like, just being out on trail in the morning and being able to start early is the only benefit to doing that, because otherwise the first bus the following day is like 9 a.m., which is not the end of the world. It just means I would be hiking into the dark for sure. But if I could get back on trail and have an early day, oh my gosh, I mean, then there would actually be a chance that on the day I was planning on finishing, I could finish like much, much earlier. And maybe, yeah, I mean, I might be able to spend the night in Mazama instead of sleeping at Hart's Pass, which could mean like do a full day, get to shower and do laundry and stuff before I get driven to Glacier National Park, which would be lovely because there's, you know, it would be nice to do. I'm going to have to charge. I'm going to have to do some stuff. It would be really great to do it in like a more productive way that still allows me to do miles. So we'll see. Everything awesome always works out. I'm feeling so grateful about 6 miles of easy trail right now, just walking effortlessly. The jungle gym is fine. There were so many comments about people freaking out about all these blowdowns. I will say I'm like 33 miles into the day. They didn't start for the first 5 or 6 miles of the day. Then there were some river crossings and stuff. Then the blowdown started. And they would stop for a handful of miles on like a climb. And then the whole other side of the climb would have blowdowns. And so it was patches on and off for like 25 miles. But not even remotely like for a whole 25-mile period. Just enough sprinkled in to be a little bit annoying, but to kind of make you be grateful that it wasn't the entire day. But yeah, I do recall it being slightly smoother sailing from here on out the rest of the way to the border. So pretty exciting stuff. Sick bridge.